Hello everyone, my name is Lori Gagne, and we're going to be looking at the new Coiltek coils for the Minelab Equinox 600 and 800. We're also going to be talking about some complementary settings that you can use with these coils. Coiltek works closely with Minelab, and you will notice the Minelab approved logo on their coils. Every coil is tested for quality assurance before leaving the manufacturing plant. It's pretty exciting that Coiltek has released 3 new sizes of coils for the Minelab Equinox. You have the 10x5, the 14x9, and the 15. They're all waterproof up to 3 meters or 10 feet and have a 2-year warranty. Each of these coils have a different magnetic field pattern. They all do something differently when it comes to depth, sensitivity, and target separation. Now, the quality of the wing nuts is something that concerned many. These coils were tested vigorously by an engineer at Coiltek, and the shaft actually broke before the coil. These are really robust coils, but it's still really important that you don't use your metal detector to stand up with, or to cross over creeks, or use them as for a sword fight, or no, okay. Let's review the coils. I'm going to start with the 10x5. Smaller coils are the most sensitive, therefore they're great at finding the smaller targets. These coils have great maneuverability up and around obstacles. The elongated coil will allow you to cover more ground and easily overlapping your swings. Here's some examples where I feel that the 10x5 can give you an added advantage. This coil is really sensitive, and it's a great coil to use for gold prospecting. You can cover more ground with every sweep. The 10x5 is great for maneuverability on really rocky shores and beaches. It's an ideal size for those high trash environments where you need maximum separation. The 10x5 is great at maneuvering through dense forests and brushy areas. And being such a sensitive coil, this coil is excellent to find the smaller gold and finer gold jewelry. I'm sure there's a lot more areas where you may feel that the 10x5 would give you the advantage, and I'd love to hear about them in the comment section below. The 14x9. The 14x9 is weighted, so what that means is that it's not going to try to float during your water hunts. This coil will push through the sand ripples, allowing you a smoother swing closer to the ground. This is an excellent coil for water hunting. The 14x9 can be used to cover large gold field areas in search for the larger gold nuggets. Even though this is a larger coil, it still has excellent sensitivity. The 14x9 is a great coil for some forests and groves. The elongated coil will give you better maneuverability in uneven terrain. It will allow you to get up close to tree trunks while still giving you excellent depth. It also complements plowed farm fields to give you better maneuverability on the uneven terrain. The 14x9 can also complement a trashy park, giving you great depth, separation, and coverage. The 9-inch width will give you great separation in areas with high trash. The 15-inch double D coil is the deepest coil of all 3. This coil is perfect if you need to cover large areas of flat ground. It's also been designed for a better water hunting experience. Its sleek shape will allow you to better navigate in the water, creating less drag. Large coils are excellent at finding some larger items, like some coins, relics. Now, one of the biggest questions I had was, can a larger coil find small, deep silver coins? In my research, the results varied from around the world. It really depends on your site conditions, mineralization, interference, and experience. Let's do a quick summary. The 10x5 coil has excellent maneuverability, excellent sensitivity, and gives you maximum separation. The 14x9 has great ground coverage, great separation, maneuverability, and it's weighted for a better water hunting experience. The 15-inch will give you the most ground coverage and depth, ideal for the flat, large areas, and its sleek design enables you to cut through water, giving you less drag. Pinpointing can be a challenge with a large double D coil. Here's the pinpointing tip and explanation. All 3 coils are double D coils. These are designed with 2 D-shaped coils. One's a transmitter and the other is a receiver. The transmitter transmits a magnetic field, and the receiver receives the information. The area where you see the coils overlapping each other, this is where the coil is picking up the signal. If you use the pinpoint feature, the target will be just below the wing nut in the center of your coil. If you're using the X pattern, the sweet spot will be higher up where the coils overlap. The deeper the target is, the closer to the center of the coil it will get. So my next question is, can I tweak my machine to give me maximum results? So let's take a look. I personally feel like the answer is yes. I hope some of you have watched some of my tutorials on what the modes are optimized for. It's really important you choose the right modes for your site conditions. Park and field modes 1 and 2 do discriminate by size.
Let's look at the differences between Park 1 and Park 2. Park 1 is optimized for modern coins and larger jewelry. Park 2 is optimized for smaller targets, jewelry, and high trash densities.
To complement the 10x5's ability to find the small gold jewelry in non-salt or mineralized conditions, I would use Park 2 first, or Field 2 if the beach has a long history. A field mode is chosen and has a default discrimination that notches out the target ID numbers 1 and 2. Fine gold can come in these numbers. In this mode, you will need to adjust the discrimination to accept numbers 1 and 2. Beach and gold modes 1 and 2 don't discriminate by size. To complement this coil's ability for separation, I would keep the recovery speed at its default settings or slightly increase it to get your maximum separation. By using a lower recovery speed, it can give you a little more depth, but it does defeat the purpose of using the 10x5 for separation. I would use a lower recovery speed with a 10x5. Let's say if I was in an area that had a lot of brush and I'm using it for the maneuverability. There's not a lot of trash, therefore separation is not as important. I would probably reduce my recovery speed to give me a little more depth. You can still find some deep targets, but what is more important for me right now, depth or separation? Because the recovery speed is a give and take setting, I would set your sensitivity to the maximum possible, but the most stable for your site conditions. I also prefer using 0 iron bias. 0 will produce less chance of detector classifying your target as ferrous. Now for the 14x9 and the 15-inch coil. The combination of a super sensitive metal detector and a super sensitive large coil will mean that it'll also be more sensitive to electromagnetic interference. This is why it's important to reduce your sensitivity slightly until the chatter is gone. That's of course after noise canceling. The reason why you want to reduce your sensitivity because it's really difficult to hear deep faint targets over EMI. Usually, if I was to choose a larger coil, it would be for better ground coverage and depth in non-trashy areas. A lower recovery speed would complement this coil, giving you more depth. If I chose the 14x9 to cover an area with more trash, then separation will be more important to me, and I would increase my recovery speed at that point. To maximize a large coil's ability to find the smaller objects, I feel that running modes 2 in park and field would optimize a larger range of target sizes. In beach and gold modes, choose accordingly to suit your site conditions, as mentioned with the 10x5. The modes sensitivity, recovery speed, and iron bias are really the only settings to optimize for ground conditions. Threshold is an important one for gold prospecting, and you should have it set to just audible. The other settings are all to do with discrimination, preferences, tone pitches, and volume controls. The reason why I didn't give you the exact settings and numbers to use is because every site is different, so knowing when to change your settings or adjust your settings accordingly will dramatically increase your finds and get the maximum from your new Coiltek coils. I would love to hear the settings that you would choose to get the maximum out of your coils in the comments below. Good luck everybody, and talk to you soon.